Okay, so this is episode 2. I've changed the camera around a bit. If you're bored and you want to read some animal fantasy books intended for kids, these are the QR codes for free copies. They go to a Google Drive, you can just download them. Mobi for Kindle and epub for iOS. The formatting is terrible. I don't have an editor. I just can't afford one. But, I mean, if you're bored, feel free. Anyway, I'm going to start remixing my paints and getting on with it. I've regridded the canvas. I only did one layer of gesso. Let me just stop this for a second to make sure that I'm not doubling the audio. One sec. Alright, so we're good. So, you see how this is separated a little bit? There's a gray wash on top and then the pigment below. You're going to take the same chopstick or skewer or mixing stick that you had before, and you're just going to mix it in again. It doesn't take very long this time because you've already crushed the pigment, and it shouldn't clump up unless you've been letting it sit for a few days and then you have to crush it all again. But just make sure you do counterclockwise and clockwise and scrape the sides because it's all sticky. So yeah, we're going to start over, and I'm going to go from left to right, lowest to high point, the way I did my original Sagan piece, which I don't have on me because I gave it to my brother, but I do have a copy of the photograph somewhere, so I could post that next time, I guess. And that took about 60 hours. Alright, so this is already mixed, so this is good. So then you just clean your stick off. Wipe it down. I did bring paper towels this time. So just have one handy. Have one handy. Wipe it off. And then do the same for the white because it's done the same thing. And then make sure that whatever water container you're using, not that you can see it, but in Sharpie it says black, and on the other one it says white, just because you don't want to be mixing the pigments over time, because then you just end up with a gray sludge, and that affects your color quality overall throughout the process. And you're also going to want a waste container for the water. You don't want to pour it down the drain because then it goes to the drain water. So having a bucket is extremely useful, and then you just recycle it properly, depending on where you live and what your rules are for hazardous waste or chemical waste, because the paint will line the pipes in your house, and it's real pretty, but it destroys your piping. So let me do the white real quick. Yeah. So I don't know what you've done today, but I had AutoCAD class. We had to make a cabin. That was fun. I got it done. It was due by Sunday, so I got it done during class, which was nice. It means I can relax and focus on other things. I also got in contact with a patent office, and they're ready to take me on as a client once things are sorted. So that's cool. Hopefully it all works out. I did not know patents took multiple years to progress, but reading through their paperwork, it's like, oh, it does. That's a bummer. It's too bad you can't fast track them if they're biomedical. Okay, the white's good. Okay. So we're gonna do the same, basically the same thing we did last time. Let's see where my pressure's at. That is way too high. Nope. I turned it up last night to clean it. Okay, so for myself, I have a very cheap easel that gets covered in paint all the time. So when I'm doing my test sprays for my width or my flow, I'll do a little dab on there because I don't care that it gets paint on it because it's just a piece of wood and it's absorbent. And I'll know if my pressure is too high because it'll spider, or it'll where did I put them? Yep. Okay, so droppers in the containers. One, two, three. Now, you can get down to pen width real easy with most airbrushes, and that's what I like to do. It's slower, but that's if you learn to do like a 0.01 or I mean 0.03 maybe max. You'll end up doing such fine detail that from just a few feet you'll get a photorealistic presentation. So I'm gonna start painting these in, and I might just change what I just said because it's straight black and I'm in a hurry. But it should paint as though it's dry, if that makes any sense. You don't want to paint wet paint. It should look like a powder coat because you're doing atomized paint. So I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? No, I mean if I lean back you can see it. If I lean forward, yeah, you can still see it. That's good. So the camera position's better. But it depends on what way you painted, because your gesso or the original tooth of the canvas will determine the direction of the flow of the airbrush. Because if you go against it, you end up, just fighting the canvas the whole time. And they are different. The different linens and the different fabrics, the different ducks do have different textures. I've never painted on linen. I'd love to paint on linen or metal because that's currently where the money is. It's considered the high quality material. And if you start to notice that your flow is dying, that means that your brush is clogging, and you just alter the chuck nut a little bit. And as you can see, if I had a way to zoom in, this little area is much darker because I opened the chuck nut a little bit. But yeah, it's basically just doing layers until you're happy with it. And one other thing to understand is that if you have paint on the tip, it will give a little bit of paint on the canvas before you mean to. So if you anticipate it, it'll work out much better for you. So it's black, but it's not pitch black. So we're gonna paint this until it's pitch black, and just get it dark. And then that'll set our tone for the rest of the piece. Yeah, see, that's nicer. But if you don't move fast enough, you end up getting these inconsistent layers, which are a pain, and then you have to spot weld them. But you're going to be doing that continuously anyway, as you learn how to progress with this. Yeah, and try never to touch the canvas, even if you make a mistake. Just get used to not touching it. It's just easier. Okay, so that's definitely darker. So if we bring up the reference image, if I can get it close, it's not 100%, but it's close. And it depends on how well your eyesight works and what your color deficiencies are. Like, I have trouble with greens and yellows, personally. So I tend to stay to black and white. But as you can see, there's a little edge here, which I don't like having. Out now. But occasionally you have to check the tip. And if I had a way to show you, I'd show you that it is actually clogging. But anyway, we'll say that one's done for now. So that's an hour's worth of work done, right? Because you wanna stay about an hour per square inch, if you can. Yeah. So we'll do these 4, and we'll call it good. So if you have a painted edge, right, you want to match that edge and go outward and then upward. You don't want to start at the top and realize halfway down that the color is wrong. So it's just something to take note of. Yeah. Okay, so, and if you notice, my grid isn't perfect. These 2 lengths are a little short. That's just because the canvas isn't a true 18 by 24. It's close, but it's not really. So, it is what it is. Now that's jammed. Okay. So when it's jammed, you take your Q-tip and you just clean the tip off. And it's a very small amount of paint. It's very small. And then you don't leave any Q-tip in the thing. And then one other thing you can do is if you want to get finer lines than pinpoint, but have less control, is you take the hood off, and you can get 0.005 paint. That's what you want, but it's great for detail work. But if your hand's shaky, it's gonna be, a nightmare. It really has jammed on me. It hasn't. It's just not flowing. There we go. Okay. And you can turn up the gas if you know what color you're working towards. But over time you end up loosening the chuck just a little bit because the paint gets stuck. And if you'll notice that when I release the, it's doing little splatters. When I release the plunger, it's doing little splatters instead of doing sprays. That's not what you want, but that's what happens when it's starting to jam. So that's when you have to clean it out. So we'll do that once I've got the color matching down. Yeah, and even now it's jamming. That's too bad. Yeah. And then the entire tip fills with paint. And you have to clean it off again. And it's just an endless cycle of doing that over and over. Okay, let's get in there. Because as the paint ages, it thickens. So if you want to loosen it up, it's like you gotta warm it up. So you gotta mix it more. So I was being lazy and didn't mix it too hard. So it always pays to mix your paints again. Just because, you know, prep is the point of it. Okay, that's two. We'll do a third one. And then the fourth gets into the suit. Fifth gets into the suit. Sixth gets into the finger. Just barely. And that's when you'll start to see contrast changes as you go. And this is when the white becomes very important. Yeah. Nothing too serious. But it is your gray factor, so... My hand is shaking. Okay. Okay. Alright. That's three. We'll try and do this one. though the quality of the photograph is just not great. I mean, I could check the real one I've got. Even then. Okay. So, you're going to want to lay down some guidelines. Just to get the gist of it. We know that it starts around there, ends around there, and goes up there. So we can fill this in. And of course you lean back because you need to see where you've messed up. So it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be because it's fuzzy. It's very fuzzy. But anyway, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do the fourth line. One, 2, 3, 4. Now, that's just the guideline. It's nothing serious. But you're gonna lay in some gray. Okay. Alright. The problem is these are straight lines. I wish he wasn't wearing a pinstripe suit. I really wish he wasn't. Ugh, I'm so lazy. But I want to get to that finger. Well. Okay. You know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm almost out of paint. Alright. And then for this one, this line will go down here. And then there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With the 7th being right here. Oh, wow, 7. Okay. Is it at the angle? Yeah. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see as my hand shakes that the lines come out the wrong angle. Well, actually, it's not the wrong angle. It's just that they shake. So what you're going to have to do is spot check everything, which is the hard part. Yep, and then it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then right here, which we're just going to paint in black, just to find it. This is fingertip. So, oh, can't see it. Yeah. I'm going to take a break. My hand's spasming. I'm going to clean out my machine and get it flowing again. I'll show you how to do that. So, and then I'm going to take a break. Alright, so you take your container, you loosen your chuck nut all the way back. It should spray pretty much completely. And then you just spray it in here until it's gone. And you add your cleaner. And you wipe it with a swab as you're cleaning it. And you'll probably smell the cleaner as it's coming out of the containment unit. Okay. And then you'll hear it sucking air and water. So then you pour in some water, and you basically just pump it in and out, and then you dump it in there, and then you dump fresh water on top, and just clear the tube, and then you wipe it down. Yeah. So I'll do his finger. His fingertip. Well, I don't know. I'll do the suit. The suit's annoying. So I'll do the suit. But I need to take a break. So it hasn't been very long. Yeah, the longest part of this is cleaning. And you just shake the water out the back until it shoots clear. And then you wipe it with a paper towel. Okay, I'll be back.